दोस्तों एक सवाल मुझसे जो अक्सर लोग पूछा करते हैं वो ये कि व्हाट डज इट टेक टू बी अ ग्रेट पीपल मैनेजर. Because once they get to know about my experience of leading teams, leading large teams, they usually combine that with my experience as a coach of working with people day in and day out. And they ask me क्या होता क्या है, क्या कैरेक्टरिस्टिक क्या है. So इस वीडियो में मैं आपसे 5 point assessment के बारे में बात करूंगा जिसको मैं completely elaborate करूंगा so that you can apply it in your life and see where you are and also what are the improvement needs that you need. So let's talk about each of them. सबसे पहला पॉइंट ये है, the questions that you have to ask as this 5-point assessment is, do I always have to be the smartest person in the room? Do I have a need that I must be the most knowledgeable person in the room? And you know it. You guess the right answer. The answer is no. If you feel कि जिस रूम में आपकी मीटिंग हो रही है, चाहे आपका बॉस है, चाहे आपकी टीम है, बट आप सबसे ज्यादा नॉलेजेबल होने चाहिए, अगर आपके अंदर ये फीलिंग है तो इट्स गोना बी अ बिग इंप्रूवमेंट नीड फॉर यू टू बिकम अ गुड पीपल मैनेजर. व्हाई? बिकॉज जो इंसान ये सोचता है कि मैं सबसे ज्यादा नॉलेजेबल नहीं हूं, मैं यहां पे एक इनेबलर हूं, वो सबसे ज्यादा लोगों को लेवरेज करता है. ही और शी नोज कि मुझे किस तरह के लोग चाहिए अपनी टीम में who are actually smarter than me, who can make me successful. मेरे 22 years के corporate career में, which ended about 4.5 years back, I can tell you the biggest parameter of my success was an amazing team. Many of them were way smarter than me. So that's one thing which happens as a result of me knowing कि मुझे सबसे ज़्यादा smart बंदा होने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. Second thing इससे क्या होता है कि when you look at hiring people, when you look at finding out the kind of people that you're getting in your team, you actually start becoming very careful about who do you get in the team, what value do they bring rather than can they work under you. A lot of people इसको जो है this person doesn't have a right attitude के चक्कर में ला के खुद को लूज करते हैं. और तीसरी चीज से होती है कि एज अ लीडर जो आपका कनेक्शन सेट होता है बिकॉज ऑफ यू बीइंग वल्नरेबल, बिकॉज योर एबिलिटी टू एडमिट मिस्टेक, बिकॉज यू नो कि यू आर नॉट द स्मार्टेस्ट पर्सन इन द रूम, सो यू कैन इजीली से कि नहीं मुझे नहीं मालूम. Because of that, the connection that you build with people is phenomenal. And trust me, nobody in their right mind is going to consider you weak if you say that particular thing to them. So that's the question number 1 कि क्या आपके अंदर ये जरूरत है कि आप रूम में सबसे ज्यादा स्मार्ट और सबसे नॉलेजेबल आदमी हो? एंड आंसर इसका होना चाहिए नहीं. दूसरी चीज, क्या आपके अंदर नैक है टू कैच द पीपल डूइंग द राइट थिंग्स? Well, what does it mean? Because you've definitely heard of catching the people doing the wrong thing. What does it mean, catch the people doing the right thing? It means कि लोगों की mistakes को आप नजरअंदाज कर सकते हो, छोड़ सकते हो. But when they do a good job, you need to appreciate them. You need to catch them then and there only. There are people I know, you know, who've been there in our life, managers, who actually point out to every single problem that you have. उनके सामने जाते में डर लगता है, उनके सामने प्रेजेंटेशन करने में डर लगता है, बिकॉज दीज पीपल, उनकी स्टाइल ऐसी है कि वो आपको करेक्ट करके आपको इंप्रूव करना चाहते हैं. लेकिन वो मैनेजर्स जो आपको बोलते हैं कि ये बढ़िया है, ये बढ़िया है, ये बढ़िया है, आप उनकी एक्सपेक्टेशन को ऑलरेडी मीट करते हो. दैट टाइम यू फील कि यार इसके सामने मुझे बहुत ही अच्छा करना है बिकॉज दिस पर्सन अप्रिशिएट्स मी. सो दैट्स वन थिंग. एंड व्हाट डज इट डू इज इट encourages the right kind of behavior in the team. People become more positive with each other. The culture and the entire, the way the team is bonded together, that improves significantly. So that's the second question that you have to ask. Do you have a knack for catching the people doing the right thing? And the answer to that should be yes. The third question is, which is very important, do you value growth above harmony? And the answer of that should be yes. Because there are a lot of managers जो लोग कहते हैं टीम में एक हार्मनी होनी चाहिए, टीम में एक बॉन्डिंग होनी चाहिए, and I'm going to actually not give growth more importance. Well, growth has to be more important than harmony. Doesn't mean कि harmony is not important. Growth has to be more important. The team growth is directly proportional to the kind of excellent outcome that you can produce. कई सारे लोग जिनके साथ मैं जुड़ा हूं, जिनके साथ मैंने काम किया है एज माई क्लाइंट्स, दे हैव कंप्लीटली ट्रांसफॉर्म देयर टीम्स बिकॉज दे स्टार्टेड not discourage discussions and not discourage even conflicts, because they started this small practice of bringing about dissonance in the group outside. So अगर आप हार्मनी को ज़्यादा ऊपर इंपॉर्टेंस दोगे तो क्या होगा, you will gradually come to a point or you'll soon come to a point where conflict को आप दबाओगे and आप ऐसे बिहेवियर को रिवॉर्ड करोगे जहां पे लोग एक दूसरे से बात ना करना पसंद करेंगे. Also it means कि जब वो टाइम आएगा when you have to pass the hard message, which happens often in life of a people manager, happened to me like tons of time. When that time comes, you will be able to have a hard discussion with the team members. That's the third point कि क्या आप ग्रोथ को हार्मनी से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस देते हो, जिसका आंसर होना चाहिए yes. Fourth point is very important and it's very difficult for us to admit कि do I feel insecure in my job? जितने भी लोगों के साथ मैंने काम किया है और जितने भी लोगों को उनमें से अपने मैनेजर से प्रॉब्लम हुई है, they have always mentioned this one thing above all कि उनका मैनेजर बहुत ही इनसिक्योर है because that manager takes credit for their work. If you are insecure, then it will be very hard for you to give them credit, and the managers who do not share credit freely usually don't last long or usually don't get great outcomes done with their team. So, are you the kind of person who can give credit and take the blame? Are you that kind of person? What it also means is, if you're the kind of person जो कि अपने जॉब में insecure नहीं है, that means कि लोग जब आपको feedback देंगे, आपको improve करेंगे आपकी टीम, तब आप कैसे act करते हो? क्या आप उनका feedback ले रहे हो as a person, or your ego will come in or your insecurity will come in as a manager? So that's the fourth point. Do I feel insecure in my job? And answer should be no, I don't. The fifth and the last point, which is so critical, can you stand up for your team? Will you stand up for your team when shit hits the fan? जब सब कुछ गड़बड़ हो रहा होगा, क्या आप एकदम स्ट्रेट अपने टीम मेंबर को बचाओगे? Obviously, it could be possible कि उनकी गलती है. At the same time, you know कि senior management perspective and perceptions is going to be still be a challenge. Will you stand up for your team firmly? I can tell you कि मेरे करियर में अगर मैं देखूं कि why is it that people have actually gone on a death march for me just because I made a call? Or why is it that there are some leaders जिनके लिए I would go on a death march, work like 48 hours and not worry about anything? Is because of that, because I know this person will always have my back, even if I commit a mistake. So what happens when you stand up for your team is they're not worried about committing mistakes. And when the team is not fearful, then they take chances and they keep you in the loop. And then they create outstanding outcomes, amazing outcomes. So do you have what it takes to represent your team? Would you stand up for them? When the time comes, when there's a promotion discussion, would you go out and put your neck there out for them? When nobody is supporting, would you stand up and talk about this person? The answer of that, can I stand up for my team, has to be a yes. So again, to summarize, first, do I have a need to be the most knowledgeable person in the room? No, I must not. Do I have the knack for catching people doing the right thing? Yes. Do I value growth over harmony? Yes. Do I feel insecure in my job? No. And can I stand up for others? Yes. Do your own assessment, find out where you are, and this kind of a thing you can easily put into a matrix and it can tell you what are your improvement needs. Because एक बात पक्की है, हम लोग बने बनाए नहीं आते हैं, हम लोग बनते हैं, और हम बनते इन्हीं tools के कारण हैं. So go ahead and implement this tool and maybe it will allow you to be a much better manager than you are today.